So, Marianne.
Darren.
I hear you've written a book.
You are correct.
Why have you written this book? Tell me.
So, first of all, have you read it?
Do you know, I might have read it. I might have contributed to it with you.
A little bit. A little bit. Your face might be in here on page 3.
Thankfully not much, but yeah.
No, we appreciate you. Thank you.
No, it was an honour.
I did write a book.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wrote a book, and I think this is similar to some of the conversations that we've had, everyone that I seem to speak to knew about marketplaces, knew that there was something they needed to do, but didn't know what to do, where to start. Is it something they specifically should start doing?
Yeah.
Or is it something that only the biggest companies in the world should be doing? And actually, this is where every single person can be successful, and every company of any size, any direction, should absolutely take it seriously and understand things as a start.
I love that.
So that is why the name is Into the Unknown.
Love that.
Because it typically seems to be something no one knows. And we wanted to uncover partner perceptions of the cloud marketplace, unlocking the opportunity that lies ahead. And there is a little lock on the back of it.
That is beautiful imagery. What's in this? What can somebody expect as a channel partner from Into the Unknown, the book on cloud marketplaces written by Marianne?
There's a couple of pages in here which I will call out specifically throughout this, because I think there's some key pillars that I think people that are new into this space should definitely start looking at. There's some bits around where your company's strategy merges into marketplace. This isn't a running alongside everything else, something completely different, employing a load of people that need to be responsible for. This just crosses over really nicely into what you're already doing and elevating it.
So for somebody that hasn't read this, and I know that many people know that this exists now already, but let's say there's a small group of people that aren't aware of this.
Who?
I know. Who would have?
Because
who
literally, I feel like all I've done in the last couple of months.
It's been everywhere. But what's the headline that would catch somebody's attention as to why somebody in channel or somebody in a software development company should have a read of Into the Unknown, the book about cloud marketplaces by Marianne?
Gilmour-Smith.
Gilmour-Smith. The Marianne, there's only one.
It's so handy having a name like that.
I'm sure it is.
When people introduce themselves with this massively long name or just a really Darren Sharpe, but Marianne Gilmour-Smith doesn't feel right, so it's just Marianne. It's like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
What would be my one main takeaway?
What's this about? Tell me what this is about and why somebody should read this that's in channel.
So initially, what this book was for was to share some market research.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of partners that we work with, you work with, everyone works with, that don't fully understand. So we wanted to go out to them, and actually some that did really, really get it, and just to gather some insights, some thoughts into what their view is of the marketplace. So initially it was just a research study, and towards the back of the book, maybe the last 20-ish pages or so, is the research from what we found out. So some really interesting insights into what specific focuses are, some really cool solutions that are out there. But actually what we thought would actually help people was sharing some of the insights from your lovely self, from various different people across the TD Synnex business, and myself as well, on what we think. And we positioned a couple of different ISV solutions in there so people can get a bit of an idea on who's successful, and actually just things that are going to help them take their solution and their business up. A key subject that we want to talk to people about at the moment is monetizing AI, buying and selling things, which is really broad and really brief. But that is kind of the fundamental of what is in this book.
Yeah.
How are you building the thing? How are you selling the thing? And these modernized platforms and marketplaces are absolutely the place to sell the thing. And there's so many things that the broader companies that we work for, can do to help those people do exactly that. The absolute opposite of what the marketplace does is there to serve for a transaction. And we discuss this a lot.
Absolutely spot on. Yeah.
It is not to insert yourself into a deal. It is not to jump on the back of it at the end and just use a marketplace for a transaction. There's so much more intelligence behind it. I think that's what Microsoft do a really good job at, demonstrating back to all of the channel businesses, is that actually there's so much more to prepare for and so much more to be involved with and add loads of value uncovering those customers' value is really important. I think that's what you do a great job at exposing where people's gaps are, what they need to focus on, and there's some strategic ideas in this book around what some people should do to gear themselves up. I think collectively we can really help advise on what direction for those to go in. Can you tell me what you think are the key pieces of value with CSP private offer versus MPO?
Customers, partners, the channel ecosystem, we should see this cloud marketplace opportunity as really a platform for modern partnering. And I guess what I mean by that is you've got CSP in particular. Why does CSP exist? It's because, in the mid-market, and in enterprise as well, but certainly in the mid-market, the partner is front and centre, and the partner ecosystem is front and centre in managing that whole customer's application modernisation strategy, or software lifecycle, that kind of good stuff. So the value there really is you've got the platform that gives access to discovery of these new digital native, elastic, consumption-led ISVs that very often are going to be, fitting in a line of business function, not necessarily, an IT application. 70% of the world's applications, or 70% of the world's ISV products, are now considered to be a line of business product. So it's accessing all that in one place, but with the partner value front and centre, which is all around how does this stuff interoperate? What are the adjacencies of these products? We know that the average IT persona would spend 10 to 15% more on a product if there's some adjacencies within the organisation's existing IT portfolio. Everybody talks about ecosystem, and that's both product and partner. It's an ecosystem of interoperable products that all drive a better outcome, and that's a partner-first approach, because all those kind of services, and this because you're leading the way in this space of taking partners and customers on this journey. It's how do we help customers better deliver with SaaS and all this automated software and all the solutions that are now being built around AI. What does this agentic world look like? And the partner value is not necessarily specifically on the product. It's about how do we modernise? How does this stuff all fit together? What does the journey look like? How adopted is it? That's the modern partner value that I think you're doing a great job of starting to bring to life.
From your experience with doing this with loads of people and getting them off the ground, is there anything in particular that screams out that you've seen before, that these people did these things and they have elevated their practice drastically quicker?
That's a really big question, but I love it. It's two ethoses, I think, if you like. It's trust and commitment, because I think all too often, look, it's fine that a partner will start doing this because a customer has said, I need to buy this in this way. I think we miss an opportunity collectively if we then don't further look at how we can get better value from this as a channel and hyperscaler ecosystem, and more importantly, working backwards from the customer, drive the customer value. There is an opportunity here for the channel community to modernise the way they take software solutions to their customers. And all too often, I see the fear, uncertainty and doubt of people that have built fantastic channel businesses that have done things in a very traditional way for a very long time. And I think, we see digital disruption all the time, don't we, in everything that we do every day. So somebody said a great line to me a couple of weeks back. They said, I think most of us now are happy to buy the second most expensive thing we'll ever buy, i.e. a car, digitally, without speaking to a person.
Very true.
Did you buy your car online without?
Not this exact one, but I did. My previous one, which I preferred.
With your own money?
Yeah.
There you go. So if you're happy to do that with your own money, what's your average buyer prepared to do digitally without speaking to people?
Interesting.
So, and I think that's the bit we've got to capture, because I'm not saying that people are going to go and spend millions of dollars without speaking to a person today, but we're maybe on a journey, we're certainly on a journey to a lot more automation, and how us as a partner community can deliver better for customers by managing this world of private offers, which, let's face it, is what marketplaces are about. It's how do we deliver a great customized commercial solution to a customer using this CSP private offer process or multi-party private offers. How do we add lots of value around that, still make it really cost efficient, really elastic, the right business fit, but how do we get that to scale effectively into our customers?
One of the things that we uncovered, which I actually thought was really interesting, was typically when you're building something and when you're trying to target a specific audience, you're not focused on the buyer. You're not focused on what that experience needs to look like. Whereas actually now, this is exactly what that buyer would find really attractive. A buyer doesn't care about the detail of the technology. Obviously, they want it to be successful, but they don't care about that level of detail. They don't care about days of billing and all of those sorts of things. Whereas actually now, having this level up is so valuable to them. And that's a lot of the feedback that we've had in here is that this is now almost closed that loop on being able to add value from the very beginning when you enter that conversation to the minute that you invoice. Have you found something similar?
Well, I think it's all up strategy, isn't it? It's because it's not. I think it sounds like a cheesy phrase. How is a customer modernising their application portfolio, and how are those customers going to discover the application of tomorrow? Chances are that buyer is really well called out in here, and customers are doing this on their own, whether a partner's having a conversation with them or not. And I think that's really well called out. Actually, the opportunity here is to go and have a conversation with a different type of buyer that's just trying to get the job done with software in the business. And we now have a collective opportunity, again, as you call out really well, to bring together a partner offering trusted advice on how a customer can be a bit more agile and innovative, yet at the same time a bit more governed around how they're buying software. And that's a really different discussion, isn't it, Marianne? That's kind of how can a partner today bring together the buying centre of their customer with the line of business function? Because that's not a traditional conversation, is it? Those, the partners that we deal with every day, as much as they're very much evolving now to have real in-business early opportunity discussions around actually the direction of the business, it's not necessarily natural, certainly wasn't in days of old for the amount of time that we've been in the industry, or maybe me more than you a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I've got slightly less hair. That's not necessarily a natural discussion for the partner of old, because it can be a very IT-led discussion.
Yeah.
This is about changing that world, isn't it?
Exactly. I don't think I'd be speaking out of turn by saying you're the marketplace man. I think that's fair. I think most people, if anyone watches this, would agree that you're the marketplace man. And I think because of that reason, you were invited, was it last year or the year before? It all blends into one.
Last year, yeah.
To speak at Ignite.
To Ignite, yeah.
How was that? That's got to have been quite high pressure. But you wouldn't crack. I don't think you'd crack.
Do you know, I find those things really exciting in a really weird way.
That is weird.
Yeah, it is. So everybody tells me. Do you know what? It was great because what we've built in the UK, and actually, you've been a part of this because you're setting the thought leadership. What we've built in the UK is a framework, a business framework, business change framework for how partners can build a marketplace practice. You've got some great work coming on this as well in your own thoughts about how the kinds of business process change a partner needs to go through to maximise this opportunity. So actually I got to take that to the US, to a US audience. And that framework that we've now built in Microsoft, the Marketplace Channel Practice Builder, has now become a global best practice. And it's fab to see you as an extension, put your own thoughts around how you can bring this to life. Because this is the platform for modern partnering. It's a cheesy phrase, isn't it? And I've mentioned it more than once.
True.
But that was a great opportunity. And I think we're going back out there again this year to take that ecosystem message to the partner community.
And is that received differently based on being in a different country? Or are they in a similar position where we are in the UK? You've
got some huge partners out there, haven't you? And, on kind of a different scale. And I think as much as there's some really big marketplace business out there, and we see in the press, don't we, about channel partners now in cloud marketplaces delivering millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of resale business through these cloud platforms. But actually, have we done the due diligence, because these are such big organisations, have we done the due diligence to really make sure we are proactively, strategically maximising an opportunity? And that's about changing the way we go to market, changing the way our sellers have a conversation. As you said earlier, it's a really different conversation, isn't it, with often a very different buyer. It's recognising the fact that the channel has changed and is going to change even more, because it's the customer that is going to discover the application of tomorrow. The application of tomorrow that will become rhythm of business in 3, 4, 5 years' time will be discovered by the customer, not necessarily by Microsoft or TD Synnex or our partners between us. It's going to be the customer that finds, tries, tests and deploys that, and they're probably going to do that on their own digitally. The opportunity here is for this channel ecosystem to be the partner of choice when it comes to enterprise contracting that through multi-party private offers or CSP private offers through the partner world. And then that becomes, how does that live and breathe? You know, we know in Microsoft that a multi-party private offer, for example, is 2.5 to 3 times the size of a direct private offer.
Okay.
And that's because it's the channel partner that is managing the length and breadth of that contract. It's about adoption, it's about software lifecycle management, it's about good governance. Really long-winded answer, I'm sorry, but I think
I'm here for it.
There's huge amounts of value in there, as you guys correctly recognise, and you're, you know, really helping the partner community build that precedent.
So those partners that are transforming and building their own IP, from the research study that we did, we asked people what a good builder, ISV, vendor, whatever you want to call it, looks like. And some of the key parts of what they would like to see when they're doing outreach and looking at new technologies is being able to access a working demo, having incentives and rebates available, a relevant case study, sales enablement, and an established channel program, which I totally agree with. I think when people speak to us or when we're outreaching to other people as well, if they have these, I genuinely believe that they're getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Is there anything outside of those 5 things that you think is just giving that extra layer of, yes, you're really securing your place there? Or do you think that's a true reflection?
I think you've hit the nail on the head, and I guess we could put that under the umbrella of being deliberate about this go-to-market.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's programs, it's process, it's leadership, but at the end of the day, it's going and proving this new model within your business. And all of those pieces about, you know, having an alliances structure, having some strong GTM, they're all really key parts, aren't they? I would say it's all too easy when we start this to, you know, go back to a traditional way of transacting things. And the opportunity here is maybe to do the hard yards for those first transactions and think, okay, I'm going to prove this out. So the message is, use this framework that you started to build here, Marianne, to get started. But if you do one thing, just get started.
Yeah.
We've got to build some new muscle memory here, and building muscle memory takes time. We need to do that a repeatable amount of times.
Yeah.
But you've nailed it.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I know that one of the key parts of your role is to dispel myths. And we've got a whole section in here which is about doing exactly that, which you may have contributed a little bit towards.
Yeah.
So there's a particular
Thank
one
you.
in here which is around marketplaces destroying the channel,
Yes.
if I can say it.
Yeah.
Why is that so unbelievably untrue and almost the opposite?
Yeah, what a fantastic question. I think that's a frequently unasked question
Do
as
you?
well. Yeah, I do. Particularly amongst senior leadership of very successful partners.
Okay.
And I've heard it for a long time. It's the belief that I can't go near this because that's not a channel business. Because the perception is that, well, if I let my customer loose on this digital platform, I lose everything.
Right.
And I think that's where that comes from. And I think to bust that myth, hey, look, your customers are out there buying stuff without you now. And your opportunity is to insert yourself in this modern way of buying software and be the leader in that space. And you said it beautifully, actually, Marianne. It's the opportunity is the other way around. You know, Canalys thinks this is going to be a 50% channel-led world, and that was raised from a 30% estimate a year or so ago back when Microsoft launched multi-party private offers. Actually, I believe this is going to be at least 2/3 a channel-led world.
Okay.
And that's our opportunity. It's the opportunity that us as a channel ecosystem together can go to market with this new mechanism of delivery and change and improve the way our customers buy software.
As you and I know, and most people know, that marketplaces have been around for a long time and they have been evolving and developing, but where those enhancements now come in, just level it up that little bit more. When I say a little bit, loads more. And there's loads of really interesting pieces, page 50 and 51 specifically, in this book here, around key benefits to the marketplace. And that's not even thinking about new technologies and creating IP and doing all these really cool things. This is just about the absolute core components of where people see value in a marketplace. Just having that cost save and that time save is so important. And if now you're able to replicate that across your more niche vendor solutions, that's extremely valuable to people. And the people that really get that are the people that really understand that time is money, because that is the only way that this message will land with people.
Marianne, why is this great book about cloud marketplaces titled Into the Unknown?
I think it'd be fair to say that marketplaces are not at the forefront of everyone's minds at the moment. And you and I...
In channel.
In the channel. You and I know they absolutely should be. And actually, even raising that is a really good point. A lot of the vendors, smaller ISVs, up-and-coming ISVs, absolutely understand it. That's not unknown to them. They really do put that at the forefront of what they're doing. They see the value in CSP private offers. They see the value in the channel. But I actually don't think the channel sees the value in what they can bring to the table. And that is exactly what we uncovered when we did the research study, is that no one gets it. Everyone needs to get it. There is value in this to literally everyone that read that book, everyone that's going to watch this video. There is value in it to everyone. So it is absolutely the unknown. But what I wanted to do and what we wanted to do was uncover the opportunity for people so it becomes at the forefront of their minds and they push this into their strategy so it is becoming more and more important and it becomes known, if you like.
That's great. So how do people get started? What's the one thing that somebody should do to get started then?
I think their engagement with their provider, myself, and engagement with the hyperscaler yourself and our wider teams are really important. That we have such a broader idea of suggestions, ideas, what's interesting to the end customer audience, because we've been in the thick of it for a while now. You, as you mentioned earlier, a lot longer than I have. But I think us collectively, we can really help shape those strategies. Towards the end of this book is a section that's specifically around what do you need to do to get started, and a lot of that we can help with. But to be honest, there's not, the partners need to help themselves and they need to understand the things that are absolutely essential to success when it comes to playing in the marketplace, and those particular elements of this book will genuinely help them. Reselling products and solutions is naturally a key part of the strategy of most of the people we've spoken to.
Yep.
But marketplace has never, I don't think actually came up at all as being part of that strategy.
Wow.
Do you see similar?
Do you know, it's what a marketplace is about. It's modern resale.
Yes.
that's the way partners can go to market. If you look at what some of the large partners are doing that were traditionally very services orientated, they are building practices around resale. And that's because they know that finding the product that the customer wants to transact is the new way to go to market, and the services business will come off the back of it. And I think you've got some good research, that kind of points that out in here, that this really is about modern resale. Use Azure Marketplace as a mechanism to build a modern resale practice.
I don't think this will land with everyone.
No, great point.
And I think we'd be living in a dream world if everyone started really embracing marketplaces. But for me, it's about finding those really clever, forward-thinking partners that are really going to grab this and take this somewhere. And if that baseline of their business is set up really well and it's ready to really accelerate, I think they're the right ones that are really going to take this places. And it's literally my job and your job to support these people taking solutions further, taking sales through marketplace more seriously. And that is fundamentally what I want, is to speak to as many people as possible, make sure that their plan is right if they've got one, which based on this they might not do yet, and really become a core part of taking that message further. Because the value in us, Microsoft and the partner is huge. And I genuinely believe that all three pieces of that puzzle are absolutely essential to success when it comes to marketplaces.
I love that approach. And I think what's interesting for me, you've just said it, not everyone's going to get this. Not every partner, and not everyone within a partner. Not even with fantastic pieces of thought leadership like this.
Even with the gold on it.
Even with the gold on it, are people going to understand that? So actually, I'd be saying, if you do want to get involved in this as somebody in a channel partner, you've got to find a champion that's going to build this in the business.
Yeah.
And you've got to have, I like to think of this as next generation thinking. You've got to be a next generation of channel partner and have a next generation mindset to want to do things differently. And I think that's what this is all about.
Cheers to the marketplace.
Cheers to marketplace.